So if you've seen a UFO, if you've seen something supernatural, if you've had a little glitch in the system, if you see synchronicities on a daily basis, if you live a very magical life, if you feel like you've had a visit from an otherworldly being, I believe you. How about that? I believe you. I've been watching this amazing documentary. I'm going to link it. We're going to learn about it today. Arizona might mean something. The Arizona desert, the Grand Canyon, something like that. I have a vase. Well, it's a pottery bowl that belonged to my great aunt Della, my dad's mother's sister. She's the one I'm talking about in the reading Out of Africa, the dietitian scholarship in Out of Africa. It really happened. I'll also link that reading because that might mean something. Yeah, that was her and her life partner's pot. They lived in Tucson. All right. Any names that you see, Spirit is working with these people. Whoa. So what Spirit wants to say is if you resonate with any of these names, you may be highly sensitive, you may be high-functioning spectrum-y, you may be an activated starseed, you may be able to understand the intelligence. And the people who can't understand the intelligence, quote unquote, the intelligence, yeah, are like an old version of a PlayStation, and you are the brand new version. You can play the old games and the new games. But the people who can't understand the intelligence, they can only play the old games. They can't even comprehend the new games. So, what is the intelligence? We have, a whole bunch of people are having paradigm shifts. So, the way I explain it is, on planet Earth, there are two realities happening at the same time. One is the third dimension, 3D, the grind, where you are so materially cleansed now. Somebody may have gone to a dry cleaner or something. You're so connected to the grind of the 3D, the rat race, that you're so out of touch with spirit. You're like way down the wrong path. You may be consuming a lot, trying to fill a hole that you can't fill. Or you can be blissfully oblivious and just living your 3D lifestyle. And when I say you, that's like the collective. But there comes a time, and it can be very trippy and very scary, if you get called upon by the universe, and if you look at it this way, you get drafted, you get picked because your mind can comprehend the intelligence, and you go on a spiritual awakening. And that's where your mind starts expanding and getting bigger and bigger. And there's these deep concepts that we can barely understand, that we are tapping into, but we have to be able to shed the confines of the third dimension. So religious dogma, preconceived notions, anything like spirit cannot work with you if you refuse to see it or allow it to happen. And so the 3D confines can keep a mind stuck. So spirit can't work with you if you refuse to believe you're worthy of it. There are people that spirit will say, darling, you are loved too much. Your ancestors, your angels, spirit, when I say spirit, what I mean is God, spirit, source, your ancestors, aliens, the force, whatever you call it, all of the above. It cares about you so much, and it says, we've called upon you. We need you and your light and your talents, your abilities, your vibe, who you are. We need you to be the most healed version of yourself. So we're taking over right now, and we're sending you on a spiritual awakening. And if you don't know what that is, it can be very, very terrifying. Because what is happening, if you're highly sensitive and if you can comprehend, now let's remember, highly sensitive people, the first thing I tell a highly sensitive person or somebody who might, just as an adult, be realizing they might be spectrum-y, something like that, the very first information you need to hear is that people don't feel the same intensity of emotions that you do. So we all automatically assume that everybody else feels emotions the same intensity as we do. And it's not true. So the people who may be calling themselves neurotypical, which neurotypical actually means the old PlayStation, they can only feel the saddest they can feel, the saddest they can comprehend in their head. Like if they were a calculator, they would just be a bunch of E's, error, error, error. Like they can't even compute it any sadder than 0. And the happiest they can feel is 100. Highly sensitive people, the new PlayStations, we can feel negative 1,000, really fucking sad, and we can feel positive 1,000, really fucking happy. So as a kid, a lot of us who never got any help, and we were plugging in at negative 724, and our people who were supposed to protect us, help us, whatever, can't comprehend past 0. Yeah, so that was a traumatic struggle that you went through all of your childhood with nobody understanding. And the minute that you understand what happened is the minute you start healing. And that grip on your heart, it's like a butthurt type grip, righteous rage, where it's like, how could you? Why didn't you? Like these feelings you may have. Once you understand, those people couldn't even comprehend what you were going through. That grip on your heart lessens up a little bit and you start to heal. So you may have lived in fragmented energy as a child if you're highly sensitive. And so now as an adult, you're going through the cleanse. You're cleansing and purging a bunch of issues that stem way back even to your childhood. And it's totally trippy and it's totally scary and it won't stop. Once it starts, you have to go through it. And so that's why in smaller cultures or in the past, if a community had like tribal people, smaller things like that, if they had identified somebody that was going through a spiritual awakening, they'd be teamed up with somebody who's already been through it to help them through it. And there's people that may have no idea what this even is. They may have no idea what a dark night of the soul is. They may be... So what happens is you go through the cleanse, and then Spirit is pulling you into the fourth dimension. Now, this sounds really woo-woo and sci-fi-y, but just go with it. Spirit's pulling you into the fourth dimension, and the fourth dimension takes place at the same time on planet Earth as the third dimension. The fourth dimension is where your mind has awakened and expanded, and you are living in, I hear, conjunction with Spirit. So you may start seeing synchronicities. You might start seeing numbers. You're just living your life. Yeah, you're like, have this urge to pick up my phone and look at my phone. Oh my God, it's 2:22. Put it down. Later that day, pick up the phone. Oh my God, it's 5:55. It's not like you're picking up saying, oh, it's 5:50. Oh, it's 5:54. Ooh. Oh, it's 5:55. No, it's not like that. It's like out of the clear blue sky, you look over at this clock, 11:11. You wake up to go to the bathroom, 3:33. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And you can get paranoid with that happening. But just know that is very, very common when you go through this. So common that there's a name for it called number synchronicities. And you're not going crazy. You're starting to live and co-create at the same time with Spirit. You have now been pulled into the 4D, and you're going to live a more magical life. So there are people, like Spirit cannot communicate with you if you can't comprehend it. So there are people whose minds cannot comprehend a visitation from an otherworldly being. There are people whose minds cannot comprehend certain things like that. Mine can. I have had my own experiences, and I say if you've had anything totally supernatural feeling, paranoia, I hear noisemakers. Okay, just noisemakers. Paranormal. If you've had a visit from an otherworldly being. If you've had a starseed activation. If you don't know what a starseed is, I will put a link down in the comment section of this reading. Every one of my readings are interactive. Every single one. So if you're watching and you still haven't looked, somehow figure out how, this is originally published on YouTube, figure out how to look at the comment section on YouTube. And that's where the second part of your reading is. It's your starseed transmissions. I'm an activated starseed. All right. So if this resonates, you're probably going through a spiritual awakening. You're probably going through a dark night of the soul. And a dark night of the soul is where you have kind of like a collapse of false reality, where you lose who you thought you were. And with that, a lot of other is the ultimate tower. Other things can happen. You can lose your religion. Your mind can expand. You can no longer ignore insult to intelligence, all that kind of stuff. You can go through anger because you may say, I want my old life back. Yeah, I don't want everything to be ripped away from me. I want to go back to sleep. I want to be oblivious. I hear I want to go back to sea. So just know, the more you get on, and that's, it's just, you got to surrender. The more you get on board with this is actually happening, the faster you'll get through the difficult process. And then you can start enjoying the magic of the miracle that's happening to you. So my advice would be, you have to look at it as you got drafted by the galaxy, the universe, And your old life no longer exists. You can't go back to that old way of thinking. The veil has been lifted for you. And you are some sort of galactic agent. Look at you. Yeah. Your brain got called upon. And Spirit wants you to vibe in the highest vibration you can. So if you're choosing not to vibe high, if you're choosing not to surrender, Spirit will keep sending in towers for you. And so my advice is you can't run away from this. You just have to accept that you're a badass now and you're being called upon. Yeah. So get on board. Yeah. You're a superhero. Oh my God. All right. Who's this message for? What's up, Froggy? Clint, this message is for you. If you resonate with the name Clint, here's your message. Clint. Clint, you go down to Clin, C-L-I-N. All signs, tough truth. Mrs. Klingon orchestrated the whole lie. Let it be known. All right, we're going to take it down to C-L-I. Tough truth. Mrs. Klingon orchestrated the whole lie. Let it be known. All signs clicked in and snorted. A pig deal here. We're taking it to the CL. Now we're clogging in shiz. Virgo, going on a date with a foxy, clever dream person. We have a clear winner. Leg's Secret Garden squashed the competition. Update. Holy Dum-Dums required to attend mythology class before getting any more butthurt. Sagittarius and Pisces. Everything came clear yesterday. All right. Message for Clint. If you resonate with Clint or any of those, Clint. My potential is limitless. All right, there's your message, Clint. Next, who's next? So these, if you resonate with any of these names, you may have, or whoever you're resonating with, may have a brain that can comprehend the 4D, and you may be getting pulled into the 4D. So what Spirit will do is put you through the cleanse. And that's where you have to clear out core childhood trauma and wounds. And it will just happen. You will revisit things that happened to you, that you pushed down somewhere in your stomach, or when you were little, Spirit put a veil on you. It was so fucked up, whatever that was, it flicked the trauma switch. So we got to remember, trauma is like a switch. It's not like, how traumatized were you? Well, I was more traumatized than you. So no, it doesn't work like that. Once you hit the vibration of trauma, no matter who got traumatized more or less, traumatized isn't a race to the top. Once you hit trauma, it flicks over. It's like a light switch. So something happened where you had trauma, and you pushed whatever that was down, way deep down in your stomach. And I call that bog bodies. And it's just like those little bogs that have a they have a body in them. The environment will be perfect. The bog will open up and it'll release this bog body mummy thing, petrified. Yeah. Well, that's these issues that will start coming out, birthing. You're birthing through your mouth or your ass. One of the two. And so what that's doing is all that negative energy has like infested inside of you. And Spirit's saying, no, no, no. So we think of our bodies as a pitcher. And so like a Kool-Aid pitcher. And you have your Kool-Aid in there, you have your water in there, and you also have your bog bodies in there. And so if you think of a pitcher, it's filled to the top. You can't fill anything else. Those bog bodies, those issues, are taking up all the space that the sugar is supposed to have. And so what Spirit says is, your Kool-Aid's fucking nasty. Yeah, we got to get rid of these bog bodies so we can add the sugar, the light, immediately. And so these issues will start awakening within you, within your psyche, and you will have to face them. And it can be a scary process. And you just got to know that you're part, it's like this is such a common thing that you may have never heard of, that there's thousands of books on this. It's an actual event that happens to you. It's called the spiritual awakening and the cleanse. And there's a lot of people that are suffering and going through this quietly and alone. And there comes a point where it's so dark that people can end it all. And so my mission is to remind people what is going on, and that it's always darkest just before the light. So what that is a Super Ball slam. You're getting whipped super hard, like when you used to whip a Super Ball. Remember, you'd whip it as hard as you could to see if you could bang it on the ceiling. Yeah, Spirit has a plan for you where you're going to ascend and you're going to feel so much better, but you have to get through this whip. And it will get better, I promise. And when it gets better, and it happens so fast, so as soon as you start like birthing a bog body, like you just face this issue, Spirit immediately pours in the light, the sugar. And you're like, oh my God, I feel better. And then you might be super emotional. You might be weepy, snotty, crying, whatever. But as soon as you get it out, it's like a feel-good feeling comes and you're like, oh my God, I feel better. I feel better. I feel better. And it happens so fast after that. And a lot of times it starts with finding out who you truly are. And it's this badass, sexy spectrum-y person. Oh my God, get it? Yeah. All right. Bob. Let's hear about it, Bob. So when you're done with the cleanse, you are going to be a totally different person. So if you do identify as being spectrum-y, you may have felt like a good visual would be an engine sitting on a table that's just overrunning. It's just been running for fucking ever. It's smoking, stuff spitting out of it. It's just, it's a juggler constantly juggling. And then all of a sudden, you just put the balls down. Or the engine just stops. And then a tower happens. Everything collapses. But you're still there. That's when you learn who you are. And a lot of people call that the autism mask just disintegrated. And so that engine, that constant juggling, a lot of times, and there's a really great clip. This spectrum-y girl orders some room service. It's adorable. But there's a really great lesson in it. And the lesson is, if somebody asked the hotel employee on the other side of the phone when she's ordering room service, and I'm going to put a link to that clip. So what Spirit wants you to think about, if you were the room service employee at the hotel, would you think that's a spectrum-y person? Would you, if somebody said, that's an autistic person, would you think that? Because you're only hearing what she's saying on the phone. And what she's saying is, hello, I'd like a parfait and a cup of coffee, please. Yeah. But what nobody sees is all the prep stuff that she's doing alone by herself. That's the engine. That's the juggling. And then she says at the end, when she's finally done and she got it, and she says, and nobody's mad at me. Yeah. So it's having these aha moments, and it can feel like a cut, but then Spirit puts a salve on right away. So that's what's going on. All right, Bob. So I'm going to put these clips that Spirit wants to teach through down in the comment section of this reading. If you don't feel comfortable clicking links, I understand. I'll put the titles of the videos too above the link, and you can copy and paste the title into the search. But I promise if you click on it, it's just a regular click. Bob, you go to Bo, B-O. Hey, hunky beefsteak, check out the new boob tube. Let's go on a boat ride. Pisces, let's go to Atlantis. Better at quick, bout to rain men. Just having a great day in America? What are you up to? Gonna book it over here. Throw another Benjamin on the horde, boys. Wait, feminine's alone treading water in a garbage. Shoot. All right, Bob, message for Bob or Bo. If you resonate with Bob or Bo. I have a bright future ahead of me. All right, there's your message, Bob or Bo. Next. Who's next? You're next, darling. Who are you? Oh my God, you're a total fox. Yes, do you like my butternut squash I'm growing? Let's hear about it. Brian, if you resonate with Brian, here's your message. Brian. Brian, you go to Bri, B-R-I. All signs, PETA! Bring your pocket. We got yum yum here. Short film by Molly Marcella, the Tarot DJ. All signs, it's finally time. Bring in the big baby. Cancer, backstab like a mofo brings in new leadership. Sagittarius, Aquarius, fearless freedom brings forth a date. Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, Cancer, and Aquarius, new vibration brings true love. Starseeds, the Tarot DJ. All right, Brian or Bri, here's your message. I forgive myself and my past. All right, we might have naughty good boys and naughty good girls. Yep, so you have to remember the butterfly is never embarrassed of the caterpillar version of them. We have a whole soul group of people who were total dorks growing up, got picked on, were just super fucking dorky. Yeah. Now they have their karmic rewards and they're smoking hot. So a bunch of people are about to realize they're part of that soul group. The smoking hot sexy people. They may have body dysmorphia. And so body dysmorphia is when you look into a mirror and you don't see the actual truth. You see something else. And I have a reading where it's called, Here's the Deal with the Mirror. And I'll put that down there. If that resonates, that's what body dysmorphia is. It sounds very similar to body dysphoria. We're talking dysmorphia and dysphoria. Body dysphoria is what transgender people have. So a non-transgender person probably won't have body dysphoria, but a transgender person for sure could have body dysmorphia. All right? Either way, yeah. There's a concept, yeah, that I stick to. It says, my journey may not be the same as yours, but I've felt the same pain. And pain is a vibration. Think of like a tuning fork, like boom. I felt that trauma click. Yeah. If we meet on our journey, may we offer each other encouragement. All right, there's that message. Now next, I am a biological woman. I was born a woman, a female. I've given birth to 2 children vaginally. and I identify as a woman. I also believe there's enough room on planet Earth for everybody. Okay. What's up, darling? Nice hat. Are we done with the never-ending carrot dangle? Let's hear about it. John? If you resonate with the name, John. Leo energy. Newsflash, we got Bonnie reporting all things Johnny. Take it to the J. Someone just realized how offensive they were to the Earth Angel. Aries, that jealous liar sabotaged this connection. Taurus, justice, starting a whole new thing. Just kicking it in the garden thinking about getting a haircut. What are you doing? Gemini, jumping off to superstardom. Ooh, jumping off, it's jetting off. A jet might mean something, or somebody might take the jump or something like that. Okay. Jetting off to superstardom. And then this just landed, hit John, and bounced off. Nothing is impossible for me. All right, one more. We're going to get one more name. Who is it in the Giant Ace of Cups? I believe you. A lot of people don't like to talk about their experiences. A lot of high-functioning spectrum-y people don't even like saying that they're spectrum-y, because there is a stigma with autism. And that's part of my mission too, is to, I've told so many people that, including some family members, that both my daughter, it started with her, and that's how I came to find the journey and path into finding my own aha moment, you know, and getting help. Now, getting help doesn't mean like I can't function. No, it means I'm smart enough to self-heal. And so getting help means I'm learning about who I am. All right? And there's so many people who say, oh, no, you're not. Because a thing of toothpicks hasn't fallen on the floor and I can't look at it and instantly tell you how many toothpicks. I just heard Tupac. Tupac might have been spectrum-y. It's very rappers, to be a successful rapper, you almost have to be ahead of the beat like that. Your brain constantly going. So people, it's like, you may not have, if you identify as being spectrum-y, up until now, you may have never even thought about it because you would just assume everybody tries this hard, lives this hard, has to struggle this hard. That's how they live life too. And then you have people passing judgment on you. If you open up and say, yeah, I'm spectrum-y, all of a sudden they put you on a short bus in their mind. And the truth of the matter is you're more intelligent than they are. They can't even comprehend what you can do. And you have to be patted on the head by these kind of people who've only read about your experience, but therefore they're going to decide what's wrong with you. Yeah, so a lot of people will be very quiet about that because the stigma is pretty bad. There's some great information about autism that I will also link down. It's a wonderful video where these delightful women talk about what it means to be an autistic woman. Just until recently, they were saying women can't be spectrum-y. Now we got to think of autism as a new race of people. It's way bigger. And it's not, and when we hear like spectrum, you think kind of like a line. Like, where do you fall on the line? But what it is, and the way one of the women explain it, she explains it really well. Think of like an asteroid. with all these globular things off of it. Here's the like high needs spectrum-y person that just rocks and is maybe very autistic and drooling and nonverbal. They're over here. Then over on this outlet, little outcrop of the asteroid over here, called the asteroid that is called autism, is Elon Musk sending rockets the size of skyscrapers into the sky. And a whole group of people, I hang out over on this side, a whole group of people over here. That's what the spectrum is. It's not like this line. And so we have to teach people, and we have to listen to the grown-ups who are actually autistic. All right. Brock. And if you have a child who has an autism diagnosis, just understand right now, your kid is going to get the most help out of any kid. If you're from my generation, I am 49, I'll be 50 in October. You didn't get any help. You may be just getting help now. And getting help might even just mean helping yourself. Yeah, well, just know that your child's school, their teachers, we're the grown-ups now. And so your kid is going to be getting all sorts of wonderful help. And they're going to have friends, they're a whole person, and everything's going to be just fine. All right, Brock. So my mission is to help talk about high-functioning spectrum-y people. Brock. It goes to bro, B-R-O. Newsflash. Triggered hosky bros shitting on everyone's light is extra dumb. Truth with the Tarot DJ. Capricorn, newsflash. Mabel broke a branch, but everyone's okay. Pisces, Gemini, good golly God. We got brown butter gravy train jackpot with Miss Molly, the Tarot DJ. Virgo, the worst is over. Here comes your extra broad. All signs, great Scott, that's a good brownie. Howl at the moon. All right, Brock and all your bros. If you resonate with Brock, or if you're a bro, here's your message. Better things are always coming to me. Your life is about to get way better. I suggest to surrender. And what surrender means is, what do they call that? It's like radical acceptance. Let's just think about what that means. Radical acceptance. Where you say, I accept that I'm worthy enough to be lovable. I accept that I'm worthy enough that this higher thing that is interacting with me isn't trying to scare me. It's trying to show me how magical and special I am. And I surrender to my own, I cast away my old thoughts, my ego that would tell me, see, the ego isn't just the thing that makes you an ass in front of everybody. Look at me. Yeah. It's the angel and the devil on your shoulder. Your ego is also the thing that says, shut up, you imposter. Your ego feeds your imposter syndrome. You can't do that. They're all going to laugh at you. Yeah. So surrender, just surrender and say, I am willing to have a new life. I thank you, Spirit. I'm going to stop saying, what a crazy coincidence. And I'm going to now start saying, thank you, Spirit. That made me feel good. That little magical thing I used to call a crazy coincidence that made me feel a little spooky, a little validated, a little magical. Yeah. Yes, please. I'd like more. You're filling up my battery. And I understand this isn't a scary thing. This is a loving thing. All right. There we go. There's the message. Peace out. Love ya.